I should settle for first place, of course. Anybody that had settled for less is crackers.
Yes.
Because I heard Cherie Blair was being lined up for a Baroness title. So I thought, what on earth for? If she can get a title, the world's gone mad. I'll make me own up. So from now on, I am Sir Roland Rat, MBE, OBE, NBC, GCSE. I mean, Terry's got one.
Three waiting again for the cross from Price. Stapleton. Oh, Pat Rice in there. Brady won it beautifully. Look at that! Oh, look at that! Smith, Dixon. Acrobatics, but it comes for Smith. It's a goal for Arsenal. Alan Smith, a super strike for the Gunners. A mistake in the Palmer defence and very heavily punished indeed.
I should settle for first place, of course. Anybody that had settled for less is crackers.
Already signs of Arsenal looking more positive in these early minutes of the second half. Bergkamp dragging the ball back. Still Bergkamp. Well, it's an exquisite goal from a player who is really in peak form at the moment. The final season at Roker Park, but there won't have been many better goals scored down the years on this ground than the one from Dennis Bergkamp here for Arsenal.
Good ball by Dixon, finding Smith. For Thomas, charging through the midfield. Thomas, it's up for grabs now. Thomas, right at the end. An unbelievable climax to the league season. Deep one. Quinn hoping to get on the end of it. It comes for Allinson. Driven first time. It might go anywhere. Rocastle! Arsenal are through to Wembley.
I should settle for first place, of course. Anybody that had settled for less is crackers.
Right, hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining us, and tonight I'm really glad to say I've got the one and only, the king of Instagram, Mr. Darren Sullivan with me, and we're going to be finding out all about his life as a football fan. So I'm really looking forward to this one because he's a massive Arsenal fan, so it'll be interesting to find out about how it all kicked off for him and about his life as a football fan. So I'm going to pass you over to Darren and ask him to tell you about his Instagram account, and then I'll be asking him, Darren, a lot of questions and whatnot. So Darren, over to you, mate.
Okay, hello everyone. Thanks, Warren, for having me on. I'm Darren Sullivan, 49 at Instagram. I go on there posting mainly Arsenal stuff, a few other little bits and bobs as well going on. Yeah, great. Delighted to come on and tell you a little bit about myself and my story, being an Arsenal supporter. I can confirm I've seen us win 2 league trophies in the ground and 1 League Cup final in the ground. That's my qualifications to come on platforms and actually think, well, I know a little bit about football, a little bit about how he's. I've not been a professional player. I've not been an amateur player. I qualified as a ref when I was very young, but give that up straight away because I had other stuff going on. Didn't have the balls really, I suppose, to see it through. I played foot. I love playing centre back and goalkeeper. That was my favourite position growing up with my mates. I was affiliated in West London to like a church where a lot of my mates all sort of gathered around. I was in the Boys Brigade, which is quite big in Scotland, actually, Warren, out west. And I'll keep in touch with a lot of my mates from that today, half are sort of Arsenal and half are QPR and other teams like Liverpool that were very fashionable back in the 70s and 80s. So that's my sort of background, really, in how I started liking football. And as far as the Arsenal connection is concerned, when I was a kid, when I was like about that age, about 6, 7, I had some cousins that were from Highbury with my surname, same Sullivan family surname. And I got to play with them, have a bit of a laugh, and always remember when I was a kid walking around near Highbury Stadium. And it was around about the time we were in them 3 cup finals, 78, 79 and 80. So it's Ipswich, Man United and West Ham. And the Ipswich final I was gutted with because we were sort of hot favourites to win that. We lost to Roger Osborne, 1-0 defeat. And that was a shock. My other granddad from the other side of the family was going, "Oh, you want to watch Ipswich and all this?" And I was like, "Nah, should blow them over, you know." But we never did. And that was a shock. So then the next season when we got in it again against Man United, I didn't really know too much about Man United because I was only like 7. They were just another team to me. And I remember being in my living room at home with a football in the garden, kicking it about and watching the game. And obviously we were 2-0 up and coasting. And then Man United get them 2 back. And then Alan Sunderland pockets the winner in sort of the 89th, 90th minute, which was brilliant. And then it was at that time, I remember when I used to go and visit my cousins, I used to walk around along these streets, and in a lot of windows, the Arsenal fans would just put up like team squad posters in the window, or they'd put up a big sign of Arsenal FA Cup winners 1979, you know, all the team there and everything.
Yeah.
That was mesmerising. You know, always that sticks in my mind. That's my local sort of connection to Arsenal. My uncle Christopher used to tell me about it. He went to the games with his sons, and then I had this. It was like a mirror. Arsenal 1979 FA Cup winners. It was like this mirror with the FA Cup on, and I put it all on the wall and everything. And sadly, I just lost it over the years because like family split, mum and dad split up, stuff goes missing. You know, it's these things happen in life, don't they? You know, and so that sort of kicked me off really, and I was just like, I used to love Brian Moore, the big match and all that. I used to love watching all that, and I've got to be honest, if I'm honest as well, even if I hadn't have had that connection, I believe I still would have been an Arsenal fan because I still believe I would have been an Arsenal fan without that connection. Because I've got this affinity with the red and white shirts. Because like when I was a kid, if you're in your 50s or 60s, growing up as a kid, a lot of the time things were sort of war related. Our granddads had all been in Second World Wars, stuff like that. So Britain was like a military sort of operation of, you know, it was a very proud country of, look, we've just come out of a world war and 2 world wars. And because my granddad was in the Second World War, I was quite close to him, Sullivan, down in Cornwall. And he would he'd show me all these things like soldiers, and it'd be like the red and white. You'd get like the Grenadier Guards. And like I actually joined them as well when I was about 16. I only lasted 3 months because I was far too soft, weren't hard enough. So you got like this red and white, and as soon as I've seen that with the Arsenal Football Club, and that was it. So even if I hadn't have had that family connection in there, I still think I would have been an Arsenal fan. They were my team from the off, really. And then it was around about 1983 when I was just over 10. I went to my first game at Highbury. It was Arsenal versus QPR. It weren't a very nice day. It was probably about November, I think it was. And I went with these guys who took me to the game. We went along, went in the clock in, and I was just like mesmerised. You walk in there, it's massive, open terrace. You walk up. When you're a little one, when you're like 10, 12, you're walking up them about 30 flights of steps like this. It's quite sort of, wow, look at this. It's huge. It's massive. And you're this little kid there in like this little anorak that your mum's give you. Your mum's worried about you. You're going off to the game, blah, blah, blah. But she knows you're going to be safe because there's older people looking after you and all that. Because let's be honest, in them days, in the 80s, early 80s, it could get pretty, lively at games. and it did get lively that day up the other end in the North Bank, QPR and Arsenal, And I remember getting home as well, the Piccadilly line. I remember going home on the train. And I remember being stuck in a tunnel for 45 minutes. People think the trains are bad now. Well, this was a nightmare. I remember being 45 minutes stuck in a tunnel. I think between King's Cross and Russell Square, something like that, So all these things, it's really weird. That's what I love about football and a day out of football. You never know what you're going to come up against when you actually go. It's one thing watching a game on the TV, and don't get me wrong, I love doing that still, watching a game on the telly and a bit of comfort, because as you get older fans will bear me out. It's not like when you was 20 and 30 and you could just get up and next day you're full of it. It saps the life. If I go to a game now, it saps the next day. I'm battered. It's the emotional, it's the beers, it's the travel. It does take it out of you, but it's worth every penny. If you get to the game, it's worth every penny to be at the games.
It is, and especially when it's against like a big rival, like United or Chelsea or Spurs or Liverpool or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like a big game. It does, because there's all that emotional baggage that goes along with it. And what I used to like as well, Darren, and I'd be interested to hear what you think about it as well, is like back in the day when we were kids, right? The kits never got changed. Do you know what I mean? Like the traditional red and white sleeve shirt that we had in the late 70s. I don't think that shirt changed for about, blimey, nearly 8-9 years, did it?
No, it never did. No, it was just plain red in the middle and then plain white.
Yeah,
white
shorts, red socks with a little thin white band around the top.
That's right.
And that was it.
Yeah.
And it never ever changed. It wasn't like it is now, where there was a kit change every season and 3 kits. I don't ever remember there being a third kit until Wenger came along. Yeah. And we wore blue against, I think it was against Lons or something in the Champions League. I don't remember that. I never remember. I remember seeing us play with white shorts and white socks up at Watford, but I don't ever remember. I remember once we went to Everton and wore red shorts as well. But I never, ever remember seeing us play in a different kit other than the red home kit and the yellow away kit. That's why I'm so adamant about the fact that the kits has to be red for home, yellow for away. If they want to play around with the third kit, fair enough. But no, the first two.
I mean, you can't. I mean, you can hardly keep up with it. All of a sudden, you put the TV on, or you see someone out, and you look and you think, "Is that another new kit we've bought out?" And you look at it. I remember when I was a kid supporting Arsenal, I used to walk up the local shop if I was on holiday or something with my family, and I'd make a beeline for the newsagents. So if I was away from home or, on holiday or something, I'd say to my mum and dad, right, I'll get the paper. I'm going up the shop. Because you knew you'd go up and you'd see the transfer news on the back page. Yeah. You'd be looking at it like this going, oh, look, we're after this player. Or you'd see Charlie Nicholas has scored 2 goals in a pre-season friendly before he's even kicked a ball for Arsenal. You're like, wow, this is it. We've got a player.
Here we go. We're going to go for a title. And I used to have that feeling every season, the beginning of the season, right? No matter how bad it was the previous year, right? We could have finished 12th, 13th or something like that.
Mm.
The next thing, the 2 seasons start, yeah, we're going to win the league. I used to get into scraps with kids at school over it and everything.
Yeah,
You
most of them were Liverpool fans where I was. You know, it was a bit of a nightmare. They were Scousers and they were winning the league, season after season. You know, so and then one day I was working in my uncle and aunt's greengrocer's shop, listening to the radio because I weren't going to the games. I must have been about 12, 13 again. And I never actually believed we'd ever beat Liverpool. I thought this is never going to happen. And I walked in the next door shop who had the game on the transistor radio just to get something to eat or something because my aunt and uncle had a greengrocer's. And I went next door and I said, it's Brian Talbot and it's Arsenal 2, Liverpool 0, Talbot from a free kick.
I remember that game.
Wow, it's possible we can beat Liverpool.
Yeah, we beat them 3-1 that day. I remember that free kick you were talking about because the previous Tuesday he did it at home to Newcastle as well.
Yeah.
And like people were comparing him to Michel Platini.
Yeah.
Well, I love Talbot. I thought
he's brilliant, yeah. Because he played for Ipswich in that 78 final when they beat us, you know.
Exactly.
So he named that. See, this is it. See, this was the sort of club we were. We would see that and think, you know, he needs to come and ball with us, you know. We'd go nick him, sign him up.
Exactly. Yeah, so you were going on about you had cousins that lived around Highbury and whatnot.
Yeah.
So were they the ones that sort of got you into following Arsenal?
I think so, yeah, because they all wore the kits, you know, they were all Arsenal supporters. You know, my uncle was, and the whole family, my dad's side were, you know, Arsenal. And some of his mum's side were Spurs, but we won't dwell on that too much. But
they can't help that, can they?
Nah, exactly, yeah. Can't hold that against them too much. But, you know,
whereabouts did you grow up, Darren?
Right, so I grew up in Hayes, Middlesex, which is just sort of by Heathrow Airport, really. It's just off Heathrow. Funny enough, if you look at one of these, you can get one of these maps of London on who supports who and where. And although it's a QPR, Chelsea and Brentford area, there are a lot of Arsenal fans in our borough. There is a lot. I don't know why that is, particularly in West Drayton, which is a little sort of area just on top of the airport. There is a lot of Arsenal there. So whether people just sort of moved from the area in North London all over there at one point in time years ago, I don't know, but that is a fact. There were most people were Liverpool fans. Though growing up, it's scary. We're not even anywhere near Liverpool, but where we were, it was all Liverpool or the odd QPR and Chelsea because it's west area, you know.
Because where I live and grow up, as in Kent, right? And there it was the same when I was at school. I think it's because, like you say, because they were just winning all the time, and you know what kids are like.
Yeah,
they just want to follow success.
Yeah.
So there was loads of Liverpool fans. There's a couple of Chelsea, but I think that was more to do with the reputation their fans had more than anything else.
And the other, I was in the park yesterday and I saw the first Haaland kit, Man City kit. So, and this is, there are no Man City fans in where I am, but it just shows you, if the teams start winning, kids will start supporting.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, because they will. If we're gonna miss out on a generation of supporters if we're not careful. But hopefully things will start turning around.
Yeah.
But we'll see. So when you were going on about Brian Moore and whatnot on the match of the day and the big match and whatnot. So you spoke about a game against QPR. Was that your first ever game at Highbury?
Yeah, that was my first ever game. We lost 2-0. I think we were in a bit of a doldrum then.
Was
We
that
really
when
were
Venables was managing QPR?
Yeah, it could well have been Venables.
I think I was at that game. I think I was in the North Bank that day.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was Donnell or Terry Neal manager then. Not sure. I'd have to. But there was a right back. Might have been John Kay. Might have been playing right back. Is a name that sticks out as well as an unusual sort of.
What John Devine was it?
Might have been John Devine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Might have been John Devine. Tommy Caton might have been there as well. Is it Tommy Caton?
Yeah, I remember Tommy Caton.
He might come a bit after that, but
yeah.
I'm trying to remember what players now. God, I'm struggling to remember who was playing in that now.
I mean, the thing is as well, Darren, I mean, like back in the day, in the late 70s, early 80s as well, not every game was live on TV, was it?
No,
I mean, it was very rare to get a game live on TV. It'd only ever be the cup finals, European Cup.
Yeah.
But there was like a lot of games were like there was radio commentary, and you know, when games were being played midweek, especially when we were in Europe, they used to have this radio station. Do you remember that station, Gunners in Europe?
No.
No, it was this radio station, and they used to call it Gunners in Europe.
Yeah.
And particularly when we were playing away, like in Belgrade or places like that, and I'd be sitting up because my dad would go to the games, but I was too young to go at night because of school and whatnot. So I'd be sitting up in bed, but listening to it on the radio. I mean, how did you find that, listening to the games on the radio?
I loved it. I absolutely love listening to because that's your imagination. All right, it is great being there, but the next best thing is listening on the radio. I think I'd rather do that than listen to Sky and watch Sky Sports a lot of the time. The idiots we get on there. You know, there was a bloke who used to do Aston Villa called Larry Canning, and he had a great voice on there. He died, I think, about 15 years ago, but he was a brilliant commentator on Radio 2. I used to listen to Sports Report, I think, is the Saturday. Yeah. Where you got that jingle, ain't you?
That's it.
Yeah, that's Sports Report on a Saturday. But then there was another show. I won't do the jingle to it because nobody will know it. But there was another one in the week, and it was just like pure entertainment. It was. I'd be sitting there, my dad's Sanyo stereo stack system that probably Alan Sugar had just started making his fortunes on from selling, you know, because I've read his books, a good read, and he talks about how he started selling stereo stack systems. That's how he built his business up to begin with. He'd probably done other things before that, but that's where he started getting good. But yeah, I had my dad's headset on like this, and I'd be tuning in from, because a lot of the games were 7:30 kickoffs in the 70s. None of this 7:45 and 8 o'clock. It used to kick off at 7:30. A lot of the games in the 70s.
No, it was. And I used to like Peter Jones.
He's good. Yeah, Liverpool supporter.
Yeah, no, but he was brilliant. The way he would describe what was going on, it was just on a different level. And I have to say, I do get really agitated with the commentators we have on the radio now, because it's been, to me, they don't really talk about what's going on in the game. They're just talking about
dribble, adverts,
absolute dribble, and you think, but what the fuck's going on in the game? I don't want to hear about that, you know.
No.
So
the radio commentary is good, and I'm just trying to think.
Alan Green as well. Do you remember Alan Green? In the North of Ireland. Yeah,
very good.
I don't know what happened to him though. Did he die?
I
don't know. I have to look it up. See what happened to him.
Yeah.
So how old were you, Darren, when you started going on a regular to football?
Well, yeah, I mean, I started then. The next game I sort of remember is 1985, 1986. I'm going to use this as a bit of a sword against the Arteta protectors. I'm going to start on that now, right? Now, I remember we were playing Watford at home. Don Howe was manager. Terry Neal had been sacked.
Mm-hmm.
John Barnes ripped us to shreds. I think with Luther Blissett, we lost 3-1.
Yeah,
I was in the North Bank, and I loved it because there was a massive demonstration. It was, we don't want Venables as manager here, get him out. A lot of people were singing Donny Howe's praises, actually. They wanted to keep him. And then, of course, we got King George, who came in. And this is going to be my point about against the fans that think it's a good idea to turn up at the ground and cheer everything they see. It's not a good idea because you've got to force change. If things are not working, you have to force change. And at Arsenal-Watford at home, 3-1 defeat at home to Watford, things were happening. Finger pointing, all this, sort it out, bald, Peter Hillwood, sort it out, And what happened? Peter Hillwood sorted it out. Went and got George Graham in, and then that was the start of our recovery. Simple as that. You've got to make these clubs accountable. But unfortunately, as we know, it seems to be like a cult. That it's like everything's got to be brilliant, and if we come second, we go again, as Mr. Arteta says. It's crazy.
No, that's how I don't get it either. Because I remember there was a game around about that time. I think it was that season that you're talking about, or maybe the one before. And I think they sacked Don Howe, but there was a gap between when they sacked Don Howe and the new one came in. So I can't really remember who was in control of the team. But I remember being on the North Bank and there was this huge demonstration kicked off. There was loads of chanting towards the board all through the game. Donny loves the Arsenal. Donny loves the Arsenal. You don't. Don't.
Yeah.
And it was really, really loud and there was all this pointing like this at the director's box. And because to me, it was mad. I remember before the game, looking at the programme and looking at the league table, Everton were top, and we had about 4 games on hand on them. And I remember, I think we were 10 points behind, right? If we'd won those 4 games, we would have been top. And I was just thinking, what are you doing? Just wait until the end of the season. What if because we were on a good form as well. Every home game we were winning 3-4-1, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I never really understood it. But there were rumours flying around. I heard that we were in for Bobby Robson as well.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything about George until I saw it in the paper. And I used to work with this Millwall fan.
Yeah, same here. Yeah,
and I said to him, mate, what's this George Graham fella like? Right? I mean, obviously I knew him because of his Arsenal. I was saying to him, what's he like as a manager? And he goes, he likes players who get stuck in. He don't like lazy players. So I thought, oh, that's a good thing. So
yeah. I mean, I was thinking about this today. George Graham, if you look at his record with transfers compared to Wenger and Arteta, I'd say George Graham got 80% of his transfers right. He'd buy a player, and 8 out of 10 of them would be quality, good. He made very few mistakes. I mean, I remember Jimmy Carter from Millwall, that never worked out. McGoldrick from Crystal Palace, that never worked out. All right, you had the Powell Ederson thing with a bung and all this, obviously that. And you got a few players like Ziggy Johnson, but I mean, he had like an injury, didn't he? So you can't really count that. But that's 4 examples. I can't think of too many more that didn't do a good job for us.
Yeah, I mean, look at that fella we got. I mean, he brought in someone before the League Cup. The season we won the League Cup under him. Ian Allinson.
Yeah.
Plucked him up from a 3rd or 4th division.
Yeah.
That's it. And then we got Perry Groves as well from Colchester.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, what is he doing? Buying these players from like Colchester.
5,000. Yeah.
You know, but Perry Groves is a legend.
He's a legend. And I was thinking just before doing this show, Grovesy, he did a lot of damage in that 1987 League Cup win that I had the privilege of being at Wembley.
Yeah.
He did a lot of damage. He went up there and scored against an Everton team that you've just said were like winning leagues. And this is in the League Cup final. I remember the game. I was watching it on the telly. Niall Quinn was up front, winning the balls in the air, big centre forward. And then Grovesy just got the ball and just sort of swiveled and swept it in outside the box. 1-0. And then we had to hang on. We were gutsy. We were fighting. Everton were all over us. We had to hang on. We brought a 1-0 lead back down, to Highbury.
Yeah, it was good, mate. It was. And, you know, it was happy days. It really was.
Yeah.
So when you used to go to the matches, Darren, did you used to go with people?
No, I'll tell you what happened. When I first started going in the mid-'80s, towards the end of the year, well, I'd say mid-'80s, I actually lied to my mum because I knew she wouldn't be happy with me going to games on my own. Because I was a big lad, I was sort of 6 foot. Even when I was 13, I was getting in nightclubs when I was 13. At 6 foot with my cousins, you know. This is my mum's side of the family. I'll be in my local nightclub when I'm 13, you know. And because my mates had sent me in to buy all the beers, you know, and all that. It's fun being bigger than average, but then there's lots of good things about it as well. To my mum, I basically say, "Oh, mum, just go up the pub with my mates tonight." Yeah, from the church, we're just gonna have a few beers, go out the pub, you know, local. So I get on a bus, go down to Uxbridge Station, get on the Piccadilly line. About an hour and 20 minutes later, I'm out at Arsenal. But I'm 14, 15 by that time and going along. And it's like, I remember seeing us get knocked out saluting in what was then, I think, the Milk Cup in 1985. Steve Foster was at the back. And I was standing in the clock in thinking, surely we can beat this shit. What are we doing? Surely. Oh, was it Luton or was it Aston Villa? No, it was Aston Villa. That's it. Bloke called Paul Birch scored for Villa. Birch.
I remember us playing Luton though at home. I think it was in a cup day.
I'm sure I saw us get done by. Yeah.
Yeah, we needed to beat them, and Mick Harford was playing up front. He was a dirty so-and-so.
He was Bruiser, wasn't he, Harford? Bruiser.
Yeah, it was.
He's one of the only players that used to knock Tony Adams about.
Yeah, he did. He absolutely battered him.
Yeah.
And there weren't many that could do that.
Adams put in his book, that did me a bit of good, you know, coming up against him and people like Cyril Regis, you know, big 15-stone lumps, just fucking...
Yeah, but then the following year, like after we won the League Cup, we got to the final again.
Yeah.
And then we played Luton. Do you remember? Yeah. Was you at that one, Darren?
I'll tell you what I've done, right? I've got things mixed up. The 87 semi-final was a series against Tottenham.
Oh, God, yes.
And then the Everton semi was the 1988 semi. So I went to all those games. Yeah. And that was when it really started to grip me, going to a lot of games, going on my own. I'd go with a few mates as well by that time. They'd join in and there'd be 2 or 3 of us, you know, going to the games. But the Tottenham semi-final series of 87 was just phenomenal. When I went to the first game at Highbury, we lost 1-0. Glenn Hoddle was awesome. He just wiped the floor with us. He was a big bloke. He was in midfield. He was just spraying the ball left, right, and centre. He had a free kick that come off the bar, and they won 1-0 because what they'd do was just put a ball in the box, and if it bobbled about and come loose, there would be Clive Allen to throw his body and legs everywhere because he was a fantastic striker.
It was.
What we need now, none of this dithering about. Clive Allen would just be there. He got 49 goals that season for Tottenham. 49 goals.
It was unbelievable because they were like doing really well. They were right up the top of the table.
Yeah,
and I was nervous about that semi-final.
Yeah.
I really was. And then when he scored that goal, I was adamant. I'm still adamant it was offside.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I was fuming. Absolutely fuming. That it'd been allowed, right?
Yeah.
Because I thought it should have been disallowed. Anyway, we lost the game, and I thought that was it. I didn't think we were going to win. Then there was a second leg.
Second leg, mate. Awesome. In the away end at Tottenham with me, mate, I remember. And then we go, I think, another goal down to Clive Allen. So we're 2-0 down on aggregate. But you know what the weird thing about them 3 games was? Not so much the one at Highbury, but the 2 games at White Hart Lane. I was standing there and I just had this weird sort of, from somewhere, there was this belief in my head we were going to turn it around. There was. I just had this weird, whether Graham had instilled a never say die attitude in the squad and the team, is probably it, because I just thought, oh no, hang on, we've still got a chance here, And then who was it? Not Viv Anderson got a goal, wasn't it, from a corner? And then was it Niall Quinn and Viv Anderson? Was it? I think scored the goals. Yeah, I think a ball come. Niall Quinn got one from Viv Anderson got one from a corner, sort of, because he was a big frame as well, gangly legs. He sort of managed to get in and force one in. And then a ball come across, and I think Quinn somehow just hit it on a half volley, and it's gone in. And then it's replay. And then I was thinking, should I go to the replay? And I thought, I've got to go. I've never had a ticket. Went along. In them days, it weren't illegal to buy a ticket off a tout. And I got one for £9 in for the away end as well, Tottenham.
Yeah, I went to that game, but I remember, I don't know how it happened, but we had to queue up Highbury, and the queue was like almost right away round the ground, if I remember right. Or that might have been for the final. I can't remember.
Yeah,
I definitely remember queuing up at Highbury, either for the replay or for the actual final.
Yeah.
Because I went to both games. I went to the replay. I don't think I went to the first game, the semi-final, second leg that was at the weekend. Because I think
Sunday.
I had this thing in my head. It was played on a Sunday or something.
That's right. The first leg was played on a Sunday at Highbury, and the second leg was played on a Sunday at their place.
Yeah.
And then the replay, what they called it, was in midweek, like a Wednesday, I think.
Yeah. And I remember going to that one, and they had to, initially they were going to have us just, I think, in half the end. But there was so many Arsenal that they had to open up another section and let us into it. And I remember that. But that night, mate, it was madness.
Oh, the heat in the terraces, because we're all squashed in. And I got home, I videoed it, because we didn't have DVDs then. It was video. I videoed it, and I'm trying to see my arm in the crowd. I had this, like, denim jacket with like this white trendy sort of sleeve on it on the end, and I'm trying to see whether it's me in the crowd surging up and down, surges, good.
Yeah, because I remember that night we went 1-0 down, and there was about couldn't have been any more than about 10 minutes to go.
That's right.
And Charlie got injured, and he had to be carried off.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's it. It's definitely gone. We're not going to get back into this game. It's too much to ask. And then Ian Allinson come on.
Yeah, I was right behind that.
Yeah. And
I
then,
was right behind it.
yeah, he weren't on very long, and then we'd equalised, and I thought, hold on. And then there was no, but before he scored, that was it. There was Tottenham, the most stupidest thing they could have ever have done. They made this PA announcement over their public address system, telling Tottenham fans how they could get their tickets for Wembley. Right, and there was still minutes left to play, and because, mate, if I'm telling you, if I'd been playing in that game and I heard that, I would have gone ballistic. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I do remember it.
You get.
I do remember it, and I remember one of the Spurs fans had a banner in the ground above the shelf, and it said, "You're gonna win, fuck all again." And I thought, yeah, you might have to just put that somewhere for a little while. Yeah,
exactly. And then there was all that fucking horrible chanting that went on as well. Remember that about Spurs and a certain place in Poland, but we won't talk about that.
Yeah, no, that's not on really. It's
no.
Yeah, that was a bit of an odd time in football. That
that exemplified it. And I remember Charlie talking about that game, and he was saying it was the closest time. He said the atmosphere was the closest thing he remembered from playing in Old Firm games. And I thought, no, he's not wrong. It was like really vicious.
Yeah.
You know, and then Rocky pops up, and the rest is history, mate.
The rest is history. Slotted that one in, and then that was it. We had something to jump up and down again and celebrate, and then we had the daunting task of playing Liverpool in the final, and that was just unbelievable, out of this world sort of stuff. Do you know, that was on a Sunday, that game, and I turned up and out on the concourse before the game. Half the lads we went with were Arsenal, and the other half from school were Liverpool. We all met up before the game on the concourse and went, look, best team win today, lads, and all that. It was all nice. And but do you know what? Somebody told me years ago, and I actually did this as well. I got in on a couple of games. There was some law about football on a Sunday. It's changed now. It's gone. But in the 80s, there was a law that something to do with church, religions. Not sure which one or what it was. But every game on a Sunday, they had to provide what they call a free gate. Because you get seats and you get standing. If you knew about this and you went to a game, and you turned up at the turnstile and you went, right, it's a game on a Sunday, there's a free gate, I want to come in. They had to let you in. And I remember I got in a couple of games. I can't remember. Might not have been Arsenal games. I might have gone and watched other games. Do you know what? I think I went to watch Charlton at Wembley for like this cup against some northern team round about the mid-80s. Somebody went, oh, there's a free gate. Do you want to come along and watch this game? So I went along and I got in.
Wow.
Weird.
That sounds bizarre. I've never heard of that before, but
I'll tell you where I got it from. One of my mates at school, his dad was a mounted police inspector, and he was the one who told us about it. He goes, "Oh, they got. If you want to go to a game on a Sunday, turn up. There's a free gate. They've got to give you it. They've got to let you in because it's standing." You know,
that's incredible. It really is, because I don't remember.
It's probably all gone now because it's probably all finished now because there's so many games on a Sunday. But in them days, because there were so few games that got played on a Sunday, most of the games were on Saturday at 3:00.
Yeah,
I think they made it. You know, they had to provide a free gate for people.
So going back to that Spurs semi-final replay, right after the game, what was it like for you, Darren, coming out of the ground and whatnot?
Yeah, good. I mean, we had a good, nice little celebration outside the ground. I know that, we were probably slightly outnumbered, but and we got a few odd dodgy looks. But in the 80s, I never felt unsafe at Tottenham, really. I don't think I did around that time. So it was good. It was a good laugh. And then one year I'll come on to the late 80s in a minute, where I did one of the most stupid things I ever did at a game, aged, what was I, about 17, 18 then. It was when we won the league in the 89 season. I went to a Tottenham away, the 3-2 win, where Gazza lost his boot and Nigel Winterburn scored and Smithy got one. We beat them 3-2. I couldn't get a seat in the away end, so I bought a seat in Tottenham's West Lower. But not only did I do that, I wore the Arsenal away top in Tottenham's West Lower. It was one of the most stupidest things I could have ever done. And I was on my own as well.
Fucking hell.
I was on my own. And when we got them goals, then there was Arsenal jumping up in the West End in them seats going, yeah. And I thought, oh, I'm all right here. Look, we're in here. We're in their seats.
Blimey. Christ.
I paid 12 quid for that ticket, and somebody outside the ground offered me double, £25. I went, nah, mate, not selling it.
No, I don't blame you. Definitely not. So, what's your memories of that League Cup final against Luton?
Against Luton? Right, well, I mean, we were supremely confident. I mean, this is so Arsenal-like. I mean, I've written down here, we go and beat a European champion club outfit in a cup final, whose striker scores first when they've never been beaten when he scores first. But we get turned over by Luton. And when you look at our pedigree in the League Cup, that is us all over. Cardiff, Swindon, Birmingham. We've been turned over by all these bottom rank teams. And you know what? I was thinking the other day as well, right? I love the League and FA Cup. One of the reasons why I love it is because it's a hard competition to win in terms of weather, right? When you've got the FA Cup, it starts in January, freezing cold. You've got replays to get through. You've got other fixtures in the league as well. Winning the Premier League, you can win the Premier League, but when the season starts, it's all Premier League games. There's the odd League Cup, and there's no FA Cup, might not be any Champions League, so it's a bit, you're sort of left. But what I like about the League Cup and the FA Cup, it's in the dark. It's grim. You've got to dig in. You might have to go away to Cardiff or Barnsley or one of these teams. And it's not easy to do. Not easy.
York City on February on a frozen pitch.
Yeah.
Or Wrexham. Both of those places we lost. And this is the problem. When you play against teams like lower league sides, if they get drawn at home against like an Arsenal or a Manchester United or a Liverpool, for them it's like a cup final. So they're all really hyped up, and raring to go, and come on, it's a big chance, get their scalp, all this carry on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's hard.
It's hard.
You're absolutely 100% right about that. It's really, really hard to win those cups because of that very reason.
Yeah.
Because their commitment and the weather conditions, it's like people go on about it being a leveler, and it is.
Yeah, it's a battle. It's like a war.
Yeah. I'm just going to quickly play something, Darren, because it sort of sums up what you're talking about. Where is it? Yeah, I'm just going to play this because at the beginning you're going to see that. Look at the state of this pitch, right? So I'm just going to play this.
Saturday, April the 26th.
Tremendous spirit in this Hereford side. They're not giving this up by any means. Radford. Now Tudor's gone down for Newcastle. Radford again. Oh, what a goal! What a goal! Radford the scorer. Ronnie Radford. And the crowd are invading the pitch. And now it will take some time to clear the field. What a tremendous shot by Radford. He got that ball back and hit it from well outside the penalty area, and no goalkeeper in the world would have stopped.
So that's the reason, not the Arsenal bit, because that's like I'll get very emotional watching that. But that clip of the Hereford thing, that just sums it up in a nutshell. The state of the pitch, all those fans going absolutely ballistic. Do you know what I mean? It's like
it's mad, and we've all played football, and when there's no crowd, when you're playing a game just on a full-size pitch, and that, when someone bangs one in and the ball flies in the air, and you hear that deathly silence of the ball sort of hitting the back of the net, the sort of like this, everybody sort of stands and sort of thinks, shit, what a goal that was, you know. If someone bangs one in from outside the 25 yards in a game that you're in playing, it's like, wow, you know, that's something, you know. But that was, I mean, to do that, what he's done on that pitch, hit that ball like that, precision up, you know, that's sort of like Dennis Bergkamp-esque, that goal, Ronnie Radford, isn't it?
Because the thing is, that state of that pitch, it was so muddy. Like, do you know what I mean? And if we went and played on a pitch like that now, the players, they would be going, well, you want me to play on that? What are you talking about? I ain't playing on that. No. You know, they wouldn't want to do it.
You wouldn't want to know.
So this is what I mean about it being a leveler.
Yeah.
A leveler. And then, or the pitch would have been absolutely frozen and the players would be struggling to keep their feet on it and whatnot.
Yeah. Man.
You know, because that's what happened at York, wasn't it? When we went up to York.
Yeah, that was Keith Uchin, wasn't it, or someone? Keith Uchin,
they scored a penalty with about 2 minutes to go or something.
I got it in the neck at school after that game.
Yeah, I didn't know, mate. Blimey. It was horrible.
Probably. Yeah.
So, we talked about the 80s quite a bit. So, the build-up, let's have a quick chat about that 89 season.
Yeah.
So, were you going regularly in the 89 season?
Yeah, the 89 season is the biggest season I've ever had as a supporter, going for games home and away. It was easy to get tickets for me at that time. You could just turn up on the day. I don't even think you needed to have a ticket. You know, you could just get in. I went with a big lad who's about 6'4". I'm friendly with him on Facebook. He still lives near where I am, but I lost contact with him for a good sort of 25 years, I suppose. We just, after the 89-90 game, that was it. We sort of went sort of separate ways, and me and him used to go, and we were like doing crazy stuff with superstitions and stuff. You know, we'd get out at Baker Street, come along and King's Cross, and then get out at King's Cross, and then we'd have this thing where we'd touch the TV, you know, the CCTV screen at the top. We'd go, right, good luck for today. We'd touch the screen of the CCTV on the Piccadilly line. It's mental, but it worked. You know, we went to all these games that season. I might have missed one or two games that season, not many. Went to all of them, you know, and it's brilliant. I mean, I remember the ones that stick out in my mind are the ones, funny enough, we struggled in because I was really worried we were going to blow it. You know, and I'm talking about, I was in the North Bank when Millwall come to town. I think that was a 2-2 draw. Teddy Sheringham again. He was causing us problems. It was a 1-1 draw. I can't remember exactly. Charlton again, another hard team. We played them at home. I think that was a 2-2 draw at Highbury. And this is when it was about February, March when we started dropping points because we were a good 12 points clear, I think, of Liverpool. And they started catching us up. Then they overtook us before we beat them at Anfield. So, yeah, I mean, I went Man United away. Tony Adams scored at both ends, sort of, scored an own goal, then scored a diving header. You know, I mean, that's mental stuff,
It was mental.
Where else did I go? Southampton away. That's the Mercy scored a cracking volley down there.
Was that the one when it was 4-0 and people were writing us off before that game and saying, that's it, they're not going to win the title, they've bottled it, it's done, it's dusted and whatnot, and we went down there and turned them over?
Yeah, we 3-1 we beat them down there, I remember.
Right.
That was good. Who else was about then? I don't think I went to Everton away, but I'd have gone to all the home games. And unfortunately, I got a ticket for Anfield '89 because we were in a travel club, I think it was. Yeah, it was a travel club. So we were going to away games, So we managed to get our hands on Liverpool away, which was due to be in sort of March or April. But because of Hillsborough, it got put back to the last day of the season. So that's how we were fortunate enough. And I went up on the coach. Left Arsenal Stadium round about. We got on a coach. It was near where the Emirates is now. We got on a coach round them sort of roads, and we must have left about 11, 12 o'clock midday. And I remember standing in a betting shop near to where we lived before we got into Highbury, and I said to me, mate, here, look at this, 16-1. 16 stood in the bar. I said, what do you reckon? And he looked at me as if I was mad because, like, Liverpool were just like Man City. They were better than Man City now. They were harder team to beat. I mean, John Barnes. When we played Liverpool once at home, I don't know if it was in the '89 season. It might have been the season before. I remember they just signed Beardsley, Barnes, and John Aldridge, and they were like forking out 800,000, which is like the equivalent of 100 million today, on 3 players. They got Aldridge from Oxford, they got Beardsley from Newcastle, and they got Barnes from Watford. I think either all in the same season or close in 2 seasons, and they were 3 like proper players. And I remember we lost 2-1 at home to Liverpool, 54,000 in the ground. People on the roof watching the game, I remember we dominated possession for 20 minutes. We might have even got a goal, went 1-0 up. I think Paul Davis might have got a header. And then I'm standing in the North Bank. All of a sudden, Liverpool get the ball. Along comes Beardsley down the sort of their left wing, which is to my right as I'm watching the game. First attack, puts the ball in. John Aldridge, bang, 1-1. So all our 20 minutes we'd done of pressing them and, nearly getting 2 or 3 goals. And that's how good they were. I mean, they were just fucking awesome, Liverpool. You just thought there's no one ever going to stop them because they had the money, they had the players. Barnes was brilliant, Every time he got the ball, he's actually, when I remember Barnesy, when he used to play for Liverpool, he's probably the nearest thing that ever got towards Thierry Henry as a player. Because when he used to get that ball out wide, he's a big lump as well. He's just go through players. Everyone got nervous. As soon as Barnes got the ball on the halfway line,
it was a nightmare because he was so talented.
Yeah. That goal he scored for England against Brazil away as well.
Yeah. I've got a funny story about that. My mate, John, God rest his soul, he died a couple of years ago, but he met John Barnes, and he's a Liverpool fan, and he said, listen, that goal you scored against Brazil, you wouldn't have scored it in the first division. You would have been taken out. And Barnesy agreed with him. He goes, no, I think you're probably right. He said, it was a great goal, mate. He said, but you wouldn't have scored it in the first division.
Brilliant. So the '89 season. So luckily there I got to go to Anfield. But the biggest sort of surprise for me on the day, apart from us winning, which was a mega surprise, was I'm on the coach, and we all know what Scousers are like with hubcaps. They don't tend to stay on cars, do they? You know? And I look out the window and there's this XR3 white Escort convertible speeding up the M1 or whatever motorway we're on. All Arsenal flags, banners, scarves, brand spanking new. Bib, 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 bib on the horn. We're giving it all like this in the car. I'm saying to me, mate, there's going to be nothing left of that car at the end of this. It's going to be stripped. So, if the person who drove that car up to Anfield, can you give me a message on Instagram? I'd like to discuss how much of your car was left at the end.
Exactly. Talking of which, everyone, please make sure you go and follow Darren on Instagram. It's Darren Sullivan 49, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Go and look him up on Instagram. He does these brilliant clips, and I'm just going to see if I can. I forgot to add it in, so I'm just going to see if I can add it in now, because this clip. Where is it? Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
Hold
this
on,
was
mate.
all right.
Yeah, make sure everyone go and follow Darren on Instagram. He does these brilliant video clips on there, and honestly, they're absolutely superb.
Yeah, I try and put a bit of humour into the day, you know.
He did one about he likes to put a bit of music on. He did this video the other day, and it was late at night. So I called it discussion after dark discussions with Darren.
Yeah. Or I could call it.
I loved it, mate.
I might call it the evening kickoff or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
The evening kickoff.
That's a good one. Yeah. So yeah, please make sure you go and follow him on Instagram and whatnot, because his videos that he puts up there are brilliant. It'll give you his thoughts on news items to do with Arsenal, thoughts on the matches, and all sorts of different things. So it's quality. So in the lead up to that game, Darren, at Anfield, did you think we had much of a chance going up there?
No, I did think we were going to lose. I thought Liverpool are too good. You know, I mean, they had Ray out and Barnsley, Steve McMahon. I mean, all these players, don't forget, when you watch their goals and the footage they used to do on video with them, and that, if you go on YouTube them all, McMahon had put one in from 25 yards. You couldn't rest. You know, if he had the ball in the centre of the park like that, he could just look up and just ping one in from 30 yards. So you've got to worry about Beardsley, who's tricky, quick, and could score goals, 2 or 3 in a game as well. And if you look after him, then you've got John Barnes, who was physical and skillful as well. Then you had Ian Rush, again, a bit like Clive Allen. Anything loose in the box is going in the net within a split second. None of this, what Eddie Nketiah does about taking 3 or 4 touches and then wondering what he's going to do. No, it's like Shearer. He's got the balls at his feet, bang, it's a goal. You know, no pondering around, you know. So I didn't think, I was getting on the bus to go up to Anfield. I thought, look, we've had a good season. We've nearly beaten. We've blown it. I never thought we bottled it, because we weren't an arrogant side like that. You know, you got Tony Adams, who used to throw his head in to get Eddie goals. I mean, Tony Adams' technique across his corners was just out of this world. It's something that I don't think people really appreciate. If you go and look at how many goals Adams got in the Premier League, I don't think it'd be far off the top scorer for centre backs in the Premier League. I think probably John Terry might run him close or pass him. But I used to see when the ball come over, he just had this technique of where he just sort of rise his head back really far, and then he had the jump. And I can only imagine that it was probably George Graham that probably taught him how to get up and lodge himself up in the air and throw himself at it, diving headers, all that. So there's no way we bottled the league. We were just running out of steam. We probably didn't have the experience. We'd never won it before at that time under Graham. So we were chasing a very hard Liverpool team, a little bit like the Man City team of today. And that's probably why I thought, well, we're going to go up on the bus. We're probably going to get beat. And do you know what? Even at 1-0, I said to me mate next to me, I dug him in the ribs. I goes, yeah, do you know what? We ain't won the league, but do you know what? We fucking done them over here tonight. They're going to be worried next season about us because we're. And there was a bloke next to me saying what I was thinking and saying to me, mate, he was saying, we'll be back, Liverpool, next season. We'll be back. We'll be back. And then it was just unbelievable. We were there 1 minute. Next thing, Michael Thomas, I've never seen anything like it before, and I don't think I'll ever see it again because I was watching it from the side sort of angle. I was in the corner of that ground. Most of the camera angle, when you see it on the telly, you're watching Thomas from behind and he's going forward like that. But he was unstoppable, Michael Thomas, so quick. And he just got that lucky rebound. I'm watching it like this, and I saw his boot and the ball at his boot like this. And I watched it like that, and then next thing I transferred my gaze, and I thought, is that going in the net? And I went like this. And I looked at the net, and Liverpool's net was red in colour. And next thing I see this ball fucking bouncing up and down like that in the net. We just went, fuck yeah. All hell breaks out.
I was jumping up and down for about an hour and a half after that, mate.
Yeah.
Because I just thought it had gone. I really did. I didn't think we had a chance.
No.
Because I agree with you about the comparison with Man City, but I think that they were better.
Oh, they were better than Man City.
Because they were winning European Cup year in, year out. They were winning titles, cups. It was just like, it was a nightmare playing against them. It really was. I mean, and that game when we beat them at Anfield, that was the first time I think I'd ever seen an Arsenal go there and win. I don't remember. I know they did it in the early 70s, but I don't remember it.
I don't remember it. I did not for 1 minute think we'd go up there and beat them. I had friends of mine. I come home on the coach because we didn't have mobile phones in them days. You know, I got back to the ground about 3 in the morning, I think it was, and it was all celebration, all good stuff. But later on, I learned, me mates in sort of West London here, because we had the dial phones then. You know, the dial phones?
Yeah.
So we'd have to ring each other up before going to the pub and all this. One of them's just dialed the number. My other mate's answered the phone. And he's just gone, pub, put the phone down.
Excellent.
No discussing the game or anything.
Exactly.
Pub.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that night was just unbelievable. I don't think I'll ever get it. And it was my best night as an Arsenal fan. It really was. It was.
It was my best.
Anyway, I've got this video I'm going to show you, everyone, because I want you to see this. This is typical sort of thing that Darren gets up to on Instagram. Go.
Yeah, that game, that was me coming out of the 4-2 win against Leicester last season. And I basically, I was videoing myself, and I was amongst all these other Arsenal fans that all love Arteta, you know. And I'm there and I'm going, let's not get too gassed up. But actually, they did do better than I thought last season. But we all know what happened. They bottled it because they were all trained to be fourth. Once they got fourth, their foot come off that pedal psychologically, which is why I'm hoping this season they might actually believe and think, yeah, we'll win the league this season, and they might win the league. But
well, that's what I'm hoping as well, Darren. So after that thing at Anfield, the next season was a bit of, I wouldn't say a damp squid, but we just never really reproduced the form, did we?
No, it's very hard, isn't it? Once you've done it once, it's very hard to stay up there because everyone's after you. Everyone wants to bring you down. If people are getting a point off you or 3 points, it's a massive thing. You know, it's very hard to sustain the success. You know, it's one of the hardest things getting there, but then staying there as well is tough. Tough, and I think the squad and the team probably hit the beers a bit as well. You know, it's
well, it was a drinking culture.
Yeah, I think they probably hit the beers, but we were still smashing teams. I remember that next season we beat Sheffield Wednesday. I think it was 5-0 at Highbury. That looked good.
Yeah. It was
a good
and
one.
I remember the next season we played Man City at home. We beat them 4-0, but on the way up,
I went to that. Yeah,
we met a group of fans. We met about 4 of them on the tube. Lovely lads. We had a nice long chat with them, and they were like congratulating us on our title win and whatnot. And they said, "Oh, hopefully one day we'll be able to do stuff like that." Yeah, I was thinking to myself, no, little did we know then what was going to happen.
No, man. I think I went to that game actually. 4-0 win at Highbury. Yeah. I do remember.
Then I remember Liverpool coming, and I think we beat them. And then, like all through the game, like the Arsenal fans were taunting Steve McMahon, going 1 minute, and holding up the finger and all that.
Yeah,
because he was running around the pitch at
Anfield.
Right, yeah. 1 minute to go, going 1 minute, 1 minute, like to all the players, which was bang on the right thing to do. Like, focus, don't let it slip. Right, 100%. But he paid the price.
Mental. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, that was funny. We did that pre-season friendly we had at Wembley, I think it was. We beat Tottenham 4-0 and beat Bayern Munich 3-0.
Yeah, that was wild.
Was that? Were we doing the 1 minute then? Oh no, it might have been when Gascoigne signed.
It was.
Tottenham.
They signed Gascoigne and Lineker, and we did them 4-0. Because I was going to that game and I was thinking, there's no way we're going to beat Spurs. Not today, not with them two in the team. Do you know what I mean? But we did. We backed them. Oh,
Brian, so this is what I love about George Graham. Look at all the players he bought that were brilliant. He bought in, Grovesy, and that was good and started it all. Rocky, he had the faith in youth to bring him in. But then you're looking at Brian Marwood. He brought him in for a couple of seasons. He helped us big time win that league in '89 because he was so quick out on the wings, and he was just he just looked like an average winger at Sheffield Wednesday before we bought him. And then he went and bought Anders Limpar after that and just replaced Marwood with this Swedish player that nobody had ever heard of. Yeah,
he was class though, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Marwood was class, to be fair to him as well. I'll tell you the other player I liked in that team was Kevin Richardson.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Because he he was really hard working. And
he used to get Rocky through the games. You'd see him talk to Rocky and say, come on, You used to see him, sort of say to Rocky, let's have it, sort of thing. It was good. Yeah. Because that second goal was started by Kevin Richardson's tackle on Barnsley.
That's right.
He robbed him of the ball. And then, it's little things like that. See, this is it. Some of these players, they don't realise that it's the little details that can be this difference between succeeding and failing,
Yeah. See, this is the thing, And I remember that season we won the title. We went up to Anfield in the League Cup and drew 1-1.
Yeah.
But we absolutely battered them. If we'd won that game 4 or 5, Darren, it wouldn't have been an exaggeration because we destroyed them.
I remember that. Yeah, that's when Rocky scored that goal from about 25 yards outside the box.
Yeah, I was at Anfield that night.
Yeah,
I went to that one, but I didn't go to the title-winning game. So I was at a game at Anfield in '89, but not the one.
But not the one. Yeah.
But we did. We battered them, and we had a perfectly good goal disallowed. Alan Smith. And I think that sort of gave us the confidence to be able to go there and win. Because George, I don't know if you've heard the story, but George always thought we were going to go there and win 3-0.
Really? Yeah. I know he said we were going to win 2-0 and, planned it out perfectly, didn't he? He planned it perfectly. They got in at half time, all at 0-0. And he just apparently just went, it's all right, lads, that's it. You're doing exactly what I've planned. No problem. Just go get 2 goals there.
Exactly. It was right. Okay, everyone. So that's end of part 1 of my chat with Darren, the king of Instagram. I'm very, very grateful to Darren for doing that with me. We will be doing another one, a part 2, soon. We just need to get a time when we're both free so that we can do it. And I know that Darren's very keen to get this finished off his chat with me because I know that he really enjoyed this one, and we had a great time chatting about his life as an Arsenal fan so far. Anyway, so make sure you keep your eyes open for that. We'll be doing it very, very soon. And thanks ever so much for watching, everyone. Remember, as I always say, please make sure you take care of yourselves, your loved ones, and all your families and friends. And remember to show some love and kindness around the world. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you all again really, really soon. Thanks. Take care. Bye for now.
I should settle for first place, of course. Anybody that had settled for less is crackers.
Yes,
because I heard Cherie Blair was being lined up for a Baroness title. So I thought, what on earth for? If she can get a title, the world's gone mad. I'll make me own up. So from now on, I am Sir Roland Rat, MBE, OBE, NBC, GCSE. I mean, Terry's got one.
Waiting again for the cross from Price. Stapleton. Oh, Pat Rice in there. Oh, Brady won it beautifully. Look at that! Oh, look at that! Smith, Dixon. Acrobatics, but it comes for Smith. It's a goal for Arsenal. Alan Smith, a super strike for the Gunners. Mistaken the Palmer defence and very heavily punished indeed.
I should settle for first place, of course. Anybody that had settled for less is crackers.
Already signs of Arsenal looking more positive in these early minutes of the second half. Bergkamp dragging the ball back. Still Bergkamp. Well, it's an exquisite goal from a player who is really in peak form at the moment. The final season at Roker Park, but there won't have been many better goals scored down the years on this ground than the one from Dennis Bergkamp here for Arsenal.
Good ball by Dixon, finding Smith. For Thomas, charging through the midfield. Thomas, it's up for grabs now. Thomas, right at the end. An unbelievable climax to the league season.
O'Leary with the kick. Deep one. Quinn hoping to get on the end of it. It comes to Allinson. Driven first time. It might go anywhere. Rocastle! Arsenal! through to Wembley.
I should settle for first place. Of course. Anybody that had settled for less is crackers.